I'm Jennifer Pagan, and I work with the Center for Restorative Approaches, and I work as a facilitator and restorative specialist in schools around the greater New Orleans area. Restorative Approaches is about building, strengthening, and repairing relationships. So if you incorporate community building circles into your classroom, you begin to build relationships with the students, not just with the teacher, but student to student. And then as you continue to use them through the year or through the semester, it strengthens the relationship so that when something happens in the classroom and any sort of harm occurs, or you have repetitive behaviors that are not conducive to having a safe classroom, it's much easier to repair the relationship, repair any harm that's occurred, because you've taken the time and invested in creating strong relationships between you and your students and between the students themselves. We sit in a circle without anything in the middle to sort of not have any barriers to communications and feelings between one another. And we have guidelines for the circle. And most importantly is that we create a safe space for people to be able to express themselves. And one of the main tenets of the circle is that we have one mic, or when you're speaking, only one person speaks at a time. And so we use a talking piece, and the talking piece is, if you have the talking piece, you're invited to speak. And if you don't have the talking piece, you're invited to listen. And so it gives everyone an opportunity to speak their mind, speak their truth, speak from their heart and from their own experience, to give their perspective on whatever question we bring, and then for the other people to listen. And then you have the opportunity for responding. We call that crosstalk. So once everyone's had an opportunity to speak, then we go into crosstalk where you can respond to someone. And then you close the circle. So the circle is sort of scaffold with questions. You might start off with sort of like an icebreaker question, what's your favorite color, depending on the age group. And then the next one, what is the one thing you want to learn this year in school? What is the one thing that makes you feel safe in a classroom? Sort of those things. And you scaffold up, and then you end it with a fun game or a motto. And so that's primarily sort of a basic circle, but it really helps the kids get to know one another. Some of the questions I like to use are, what makes you a good student? Or what would make the classroom a safe environment for you to learn? What do you need to learn? What do you like about this school? What is your favorite thing about learning? What is one good thing your teacher does? So you can incorporate those sorts of things so that you as the educator, you as the teacher, can understand where the kids are coming from. And if kids want to pass and they don't want to participate, it's fine. But there are ways that you can make them feel safe after 1 or 2, 3 circles. You can ask them to start the circle and be the leader. So it's a really great way to incorporate it. And some classes they'll do them, but then somehow it just kind of morphs into the kids can stay in their desks, and it's just part of the classroom culture. And it's a way that they can also hold one another accountable, and it helps develop that internal locus of control that you want from the students. When you ask them to do something, they do it because they want to, not because they have to. So depending on the size of the class, a circle usually lasts about 45 minutes. A community building circle can last about 45 minutes, half hour to 45 minutes, depending on the size of the class. If it's 18 kids, it might be a half hour, and depending on the variety of the questions as well. But we would say do them once a week, and sometimes they do them on Friday. Some like to do it on Monday as a check-in, and once a week for the duration of the school year. And sometimes they sort of morph, into they morph into a sort of educational thing as well. You can use them, which is really interesting. So once you start they build and they grow on themselves, and it's really a wonderful process to witness.